Hello, this is wmpyr. Do I look like Glenn from The Walking Dead? Because some people seem to think so. Anyway, I think it's a great show. I just started season 4 and really enjoying it. Alright, so for today's lesson, we're going to be working with single stick, and I'm going to show you a new angles of attack form. Okay, so first let me just show you what it looks like. Stick hand to the front, this other hand, just keep it right here, and let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just 5 moves. Let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nice and simple. You could memorize this because it's nice and short. And if you're traveling, you're like at a hotel or something, you should be able to do this no problem. 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you don't have a stick with you, you could substitute this with a comb, a pen, whatever it takes, get some repetitions in. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the breakdown. Okay, real quick, diagonal, diagonal, hit, hit, and then stab right there. So let's go ahead and slow that down. The diagonal, number 1 is a slash. Diagonal, number 2 is another slash. We continue the motion here, very important, into a strike to the crown right here, and then you bring it to the side. Okay, so from the side now, another strike, and then we bring it back here to the hip for the stab right there. Okay, and that's 5. So one more time. The diagonal is a slash, that's our number 1. Number 2 is also a slash, another diagonal, and we continue the motion into a strike, and then we park it here to the side because our next one is going to be a side strike, and then we park it here to the hip because that's our stab. So one more time. Diagonal, diagonal, strike, strike, and then stab right there. So you're going 1, 2, bam, bam, boom, right there. What I like about this form is that we are combining slashes with strikes and then stabs. So basically 3 major types of ways of attacking. So we have slashes, strikes, and stabs. Okay, so let me go ahead and try it from this angle. 1, 2, bam, bam, and stab right there. Notice you go from diagonal, diagonal, boom. You see, from the 2 diagonals, we instantly go into a strike right there, and we have our strike and our stab right here. So horizontal, immediately take it to the hip for the final stab right here. So boom, bam. So right here, this horizontal, and immediately comes back here, boom. And you could almost have like this defensive position right here that you could be defending and put in that stab at any time. So 1, 2, boom, boom, and there it is right there, the stab. So diagonal, diagonal, hit, and you can see from right here, I'm already in a defensive position. If need to, I could use the butt end of the stick right there, but here's my strike right here, and you can already see the defensive position that takes me into the stab right there. Alright, so as usual, I recommend practice that for like 3 minutes, right hand, 3 minutes with the left hand. If you're competing and you're going to be using this pretty much just with your right hand, then you don't need to practice the left hand. But for self-defense, long-term wise, because you never know what's going to happen in self-defense, I recommend go ahead and practicing with the left hand. Definitely also for exercise and just coordination and improving your overall body mechanics, definitely recommend practicing with the left hand. Alright, so please practice that form, but also practice these. This is a very common one we do here at the wmpyr channel, which is this diagonal, diagonal, horizontal, horizontal, and then stab, right? It's another 5 moves, and then this another one where it's also 5 moves, which is diagonal, diagonal back the way you came, diagonal from underneath, diagonal back the way you came, and then stab. So that's another 5 right there. And then there's another form that we actually do, which is the 7, which is diagonal, diagonal, horizontal, horizontal, and then diagonal from the bottom, and then stab. So that's actually 7 moves. You know, don't worry about trying to cover everything in one form. The forms that I showed you today, They're not that long. It's like 5 for one form, just 5 moves. That's not difficult to remember. If you could remember, I showed you like four different forms. If you could remember all 4, that's great. If you just want to focus on one for now, then that's perfectly fine too. There's so many. Remember this one too, this one where we're making a square. 2, 3, and 4. And of course we could go the other way. 1, 2, 3, and 4, where I'm just drawing a square in front of me. Just forms like that. It's good to know, and they're not difficult to remember. Okay, so at the end of the day, just keep in mind that there is no such thing as a super form that's going to cover absolutely everything. And if you try to cram in a lot of stuff into one form, you are going to lose out on quality. So just keep that in mind. I'm not against practicing a super form or making up your own super form. That's completely fine, but just don't think that that is it. That's not the end of all. You know what I mean? Another thing is, it's also not about quantity. So if you go, hey, I know 50 different forms, it's not about that either. So there's kind of like a fine line between the two. And either way, it's going to come down to you practicing, exploring, and evolving and progressing the form. That's what's important. So anyway, thank you for watching, and take care, folks.